Hey guys, I'm gonna do a video about a few things that I wanted to talk about today, and better lighting than the last video. I've been like anxious and crying off and on all night, and I figured that if anyone can learn anything from what I feel like I'm going through, then the more the better. I want to first, and it's basically going to be about a lot of different things that have really upset me. About 6 years ago, I want to say I was like 23, maybe. I don't know how many years that is. I can't math right now. I was living in Minnesota, and I maybe it was longer than that. I was living in Minnesota, and before that I lived in Wisconsin, and I was a patient at the Mayo Clinic, and I was uncontrollably throwing up, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought that there was something wrong with me, and the doctors there, they didn't know what was wrong, and one doctor in particular just told me that, since he couldn't figure it out, it was probably just an eating disorder. And I took that and I ran with it because it was a diagnosis. It was something to cling to. And I really think that it made everything worse. I can't even imagine just how much better it would have been had I not heard that diagnosis. And I spent the better part of last year in a hospital, and for specializing in eating disorders because I was afraid. And I really do think that I developed an eating disorder. I'm not trying to deny or say that I didn't develop an eating disorder. I have no inkling of why I did develop that. I don't know if it was because he said that that's what I was and I had to be that, or whatever, but I knew I needed help, and I went into the hospital, and I got a lot of blood tests run because I was having a lot of joint pain, and a whole bunch of different just symptoms that nobody could figure out. And I had an elevated white blood cell count and a high SUD rate, and I just kind of kept going to all the appointments and making appointments with rheumatologists and infectious disease specialists, and somehow along the way we missed the Lyme diagnosis. So I'm fairly certain that being prescribed the steroids for migraines and for some of the other issues that I was having, it's made the Lyme way worse. And I can't even. I I feel alone. And then no one really understands what's going on with me, and I'm told by doctors that Lyme disease and fibromyalgia are just made up diseases for people who want to be sick, and I don't want to be sick anymore. I want to get better, and I want my old life back. Making this video is obviously extremely hard. I don't even know if I'm gonna upload it or not, but I feel like everyone should know that this is the kind of toll that Lyme takes on you as a person, and on you as a mental capacity. I have so much anxiety about travel, about new doctors. I'm terrified to go to the emergency room if it's a flare-up of my Lyme herxing, because the last time I did, I was told that it wasn't a real diagnosis, that it wasn't something that was mine. It wasn't mine, that it was made up, and that I wasn't really in pain. And I know in my first video that I put on YouTube that I talked about how my spine hurts so bad, but I was told at that ER doctor, by that ER doctor, that that's impossible to have that kind of pain, to have that kind of just to have that kind of that it was impossible to have that kind of pain, and that it was making me just out to be a liar or a drug seeker. And I was trying to explain to that doctor that I had medicine that I can take, you know, that I have plenty of narcotics, I have plenty of anti-anxiety medicine, I have, you know, all my medicine, and he did not believe me that I was sick and that I was in pain. The only time I ever got any relief from this at all was I had a D&C completed because I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I can't I had to go under for that procedure because when they tried to do it in the office, it just kind of it was way too painful, and I couldn't go through with it. So I got put under for that particular procedure, and I was given antibiotics before the treatment in the hospital, before the surgery, and it was I'm trying to remember the name of them, and I can't remember. I but I don't ever want to have to take that med again. I got, like a couple of days later, I had severe constipation and I hadn't been able to go to the bathroom for a really long time, more than 5 days. And when I went to the hospital because I didn't know what else to do, they ran a blood panel. They didn't believe me that I was in pain. So they ran a blood panel and they saw that my white blood cell count was super duper high, and then I had a really high SED rate. So then after that, they believed me. They gave me fentanyl and they put me in the hospital for a couple of days, and over the course of 2 to 3 days, I had 8 treatments of Rocephin, and it was IV Rocephin, and I felt tremendously better. I felt like I could skip out of the hospital. Okay, but I didn't, I was so furious that I wanted to leave there. Uncomfortable bed, uncomfortable staff. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'll go into that in another video, but, it was a horrible experience, but the IV antibiotics made me feel better. But as soon as I got out of the hospital, I started to have symptoms again, like memory fog and just headaches and even muscle and joint pain and spasms. I'm sorry. I didn't know what I should do, and so I knew at that point I had Lyme disease, but I didn't know the severity of the Lyme disease because I had an ELISA test done, and we were looking for chronic fatigue syndrome, so my doctor did a whole panel of Lyme disease, or not Lyme disease, I'm sorry, but chronic fatigue, and Lyme disease happened to be on the chronic fatigue panel, Lyme disease, ELISA test, and a Western blot. And the ELISA test came back positive, which means I have a halfway decent immune system to actually produce antibodies. But it wasn't enough to find it off. So now I'm seeing a doctor, like I said in previous videos, in Maryland, and it's going okay. I just don't feel any relief from the antibiotics just yet. Maybe it's just the wrong antibiotic for me, or something else, I don't know. So I enrolled, I'm going to change the subject because I'm crying too much, but I enrolled in college again for the semester, and I'm going to be continuing my psychology degree, and I think I'm wanting to teach, and primarily, I know it sucks, but for the student loan forgiveness portion of the that you get, you know, when you do 4 years of service in an indigenous area, or a school with need. Um, they forgive your student loans, and I really need that because of the sissies is taking over my life, and so I'm going back. I'm looking over at a list because I didn't want to forget what I wanted to talk about. So I think that's a really good idea. I'm just taking one class at a time so that I can try to not have as much brain fog and brain mush. I want to keep my brain sharp because I'm afraid of losing who I am or what I am. Sorry. I want to talk also about World of Warcraft. I've been playing a little bit here and there, and I really like the new expansion, and it has kind of been able to take my mind off of things that are kind of keeping me in distress and in high anxiety and even depression. And so I've got so many things going on right now. I wanted to say something regarding the election. I plan to vote for Jill Stein, but I don't think that she's gonna win, and I'm terrified of what is gonna happen to healthcare, and I'm terrified of what's gonna happen in wartime because I have friends in the military, and either way you get like a raw deal. Like, Hillary Clinton wants to go to war with Russia, and on the other side, then you have Donald Trump that just says that if Putin is nice to him, then he'll be nice back, and that's not how to run a country. And it's the little things, it's everything. And I'm sorry. Today was a high pain day. I was in pain most of the day. Like, I felt like my spine was compressing, and I had like an out of place bone that wouldn't pop back in, and I had to wait until my muscle relaxers kicked in so that I could try to work on it myself. It was pretty late, and I couldn't go to the chiropractor. I don't really go anywhere. I kind of stay in the house because of the risks of doxycycline and the sunlight issue, and I have a doctor's appointment on Friday over the phone with my doctor in Maryland, and I'm really terrified about PICC line or a port. I've never had one, and I'm afraid that it's gonna hurt a lot, or it's gonna get infected. I can't tell you how many YouTube videos that I've watched of people having ports inserted, and then after the effect of them getting like MRSA, or they're getting God, uh, just infections through the port and through or even IVs for that matter. I don't know how this is gonna work. And I'm terrified. I don't want to, I don't want to be alone in this. I feel like I am completely inept, like I can't travel by myself. Going through airport security is the most terrifying thing I've ever done. And I can't take any medicine because I'm afraid that if I take my medicine before I go through the airport security, that I'm gonna be acting weird and they're gonna think that I'm a terrorist or something. And I'm not. I'm just trying to get to where I'm going. I don't know what I need to do. I don't know what the next steps are. I think I had everything on my list, but I don't feel any close to any closure or anything. So, if you have some kind of advice or some kind of just any kind of I don't know, a phrase of help or just kind words, I would be happy if you pass them along, because I feel like I'm stuck in a dark cloud, and I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what to do. And I want to thank that all the people that have subscribed to my channel and to like and subscribe this video if you want. I don't care. I just want to feel better, and I don't know. I don't know how to do that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I've cried too much, and I guess I'll probably upload this video. If you see it, you'll know I did. And if you don't, then you will just have no idea that it even existed. It's 10 till 4 a.m. and can't sleep tonight. I don't know what's wrong. Thanks for listening.